Welcome to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration School Bus Driver and Service Safety Series. In this module, we're going to be discussing driver attitude. The purpose of this video is to review your role as a school bus driver, the stresses you might encounter, and how to handle those stresses. Today, we are going to talk about two bus drivers. I'm going to tell you a story about Tom and Harry. Say hello to Tom. He is a school bus driver. Tom left his house late one morning because a pipe had sprung a leak, and he had to call a plumber. He got to the bus yard just before he had to pull out. Tom did a quick pre-trip inspection and didn't notice that his left rear turn signal lamp was out. He was late getting to his first stop because the night before had knocked out the traffic light. At his fourth stop, a parent wanted to talk to him about the boy who seemed to be picking on her daughter on the bus. At his seventh stop, a second grade boy dropped an art project that blew under the bus and then tried to retrieve the art project without telling Tom what he was doing. This video illustrates the proper way for a student to pick up something that was dropped. The student immediately left the object and got out of the danger zone. He got the driver's attention and waited until the driver signaled him back across to pick up the dropped object. Let's greet Harry. He is also a bus driver. His morning was completely different. He arrived at the lot early and got a cup of coffee. He looked over the bulletin board and jotted down the dates of upcoming drivers' meetings. Harry talked to other bus drivers and did a thorough pre-trip inspection. He noticed a soft tire, so he put some air in the tire and let maintenance know. He was told to get a spare bus and that his bus will be available after morning runs. Harry was able to start his route on time. He noticed that the construction on the narrow bridge had been completed. The bridge now had plenty of room. At his fifth stop, the seventh grader, who is usually still at her front door when the bus arrives and usually comes running across her neighbor's yard, was at the bus stop on time. She then got on the bus and talked quietly with her friends for the rest of the ride. As Harry was merging onto the interstate, a motorist slowed down to allow him to merge in safely. He arrived at school on time and unloaded. Who had the safest trip this morning? Harry did. Most drivers have, like yourself, experienced both good and bad mornings. Regardless of a good or bad day, your job is to safely transport students on time and in a frame of mind ready to learn. Safety starts with you and your attitude. Your attitude sets the stage for how you drive, how you feel about your job, how the students and parents respond to you and to other school personnel, and what kind of day your students have. Remember, you will be the first person your students see in the morning and the last one they see before getting home. Your attitude will bring down other people, so you should always be positive. In order to be a good school bus driver, you must like your students and you must like your job. You don't have to love every student who rides your bus, but you should like working and being with students. If you don't, you will find it hard to keep a good attitude about being a school bus driver. What do you do when you have a student who is hard to like? Have patience when you're dealing with that student. Do not get yourself upset. Remember, you are the adult. Communicate with the student in a calm manner. Even if the student is shouting at you, remain calm and de-escalate the situation. Treat all your students on the bus the same. Do not have favorites or pick on an individual student. If you come across a disciplinary issue, fill out a conduct report and speak with your supervisor about the issue. It isn't always easy to have a positive attitude when being a bus driver. The job can be fun, but also tough at the same time. This could cause some unwanted stress. What are things that make you stressed when driving the bus? Students can provide a source of stress to bus drivers. Tom had the second grader who didn't respect the danger zone and almost ran under the bus. Harry had the seventh grader who is usually late and noisy, but today she was on time and quiet. Maintenance on the buses can be stressful. Tom had the burned out turn signal, which he didn't notice before the trip. Harry had the soft tire, which he dealt with and got a spare. Events in your personal life will add stress to your job. Tom had the plumbing problem, which was probably on his mind throughout the trip. It made him feel rushed all morning. Remember, if you are late, stay late. Radio into dispatch if you are running more than 10 minutes late. Accidents always come with high stress for any bus driver. Let's review our accident procedure so you don't have the added stress of not knowing our procedure. After an accident, the primary responsibility of the bus driver or transportation assistant is to ensure the safety of the children on the bus. Once you've been involved in an accident, the first thing you want to do is stop. Even in a minor crash, the bus should not be moved until authorities have arrived. The same pertains to non-collision incidents such as an onboard injury to a student due to a fall. You're going to want to assess the situation. Before reporting the crash by radio, drivers must assess the situation calmly. Are there injuries? What is the exact location? Must children be evacuated? You need to reassure the children. In any emergency, adults should reassure children all is okay, even if adults are not sure it is. Contact dispatch. A calm radio voice in an emergency is a sign of a professional. If dispatch does not answer an initial radio call, drivers should repeat the basic message, giving their bus number each time. Dispatch may hear the driver, but the driver may not be able to hear dispatch. Unnecessary information should not be given over the radio. Example: children's names should not be mentioned unless absolutely necessary. If possible, drivers should update dispatch periodically by radio until help arrives.
Protect the scene. Hazard lights should be activated at once. Reflectors should be placed according to prescribed methods, far enough back to protect the bus from another collision. Remember, you are not to leave students on the bus by themselves.
You need to make the decision on whether or not to evacuate your bus. In most cases, children will be safer inside the bus after a crash. Evacuation is hazardous and should never be undertaken lightly. If there is a danger of fire, a rollover, or a second collision, evacuation must begin at once. Children must never be left unsupervised. Initiate first aid immediately if needed. Until help arrives, life-saving first aid measures should be undertaken. Injured children should never be moved unless necessary. Drivers should not exceed the limits of their training. You need to account for all students on the bus. The student roster should be double-checked to confirm exactly which children were on the bus. Uninjured children should not be released until authorities arrive and authorize their release. You must cooperate with authorities. Emergency personnel need to know exactly how many children were on board and if any have special conditions. In severe incidences, a command post will be established to coordinate rescue efforts. As rescuers arrive, they will take over. Driver and monitor must let them do their job. Do not start an argument with the other driver. Driver and transportation assistants should not argue or become emotional with another motorist or discuss the incident with anyone other than the responding police officer or the emergency responder. Accidents are added stress, so know your procedure and remain calm. Emergency evacuation will cause high stress and pressure, so it's important to know the procedure. It will help ease a small amount of your stress. If you determine that an evacuation is necessary, remain calm, radio into dispatch and let them know that you are evacuating the bus. You must decide which way you are going to evacuate your bus. There's front door evacuation, rear door evacuation, or both front and rear door evacuation. Once you have decided what type of evacuation you are going to do, radio into dispatch, tell them that you are performing an emergency evacuation and give them your exact location, nearest intersection, or address. Choose one student to lead the others away from the bus. Instruct the students where to go when they get off the bus. Remind them to remain calm, leave everything on the bus, remain seated until it's their turn to get off the bus. Remember, You want to be at least 100 feet away from the bus. As you are getting your students off the bus, you must count them. Once all students are off the bus, check the bus for any remaining students. If time allows, take your radio with you. Once you're with your students, recount them again. Inclement weather can cause driving to become even more stressful. When it's storming and they issue a tornado watch, continue on your route under extreme caution and monitor your radio. If there is a tornado warning that has been issued, students will be held at the school until the warning is lifted. Drivers must wait inside the school with students. When severe weather is pending, monitor bus communications for directions if already en route to school. If already at school, do not leave the school grounds until an all-clear signal has been given. If the bus is already en route and a tornado warning is issued, proceed to the nearest Fulton County Schools educational facility, fire station, or emergency shelter along the route and take students inside. Drivers should make a note of these locations at the beginning of the school year. Remain with the students until the warning is lifted. If drivers are unable to reach a building, do the following. Pull the bus off the roadway in the safest location possible. Apply parking brake, shift to neutral, turn on hazard warning lights and strobe. Leave the engine running. Remain on the bus with the students. Contact dispatch with location. If damaging wind or tornado is present, do the following. Remain calm. Direct students to remain silent. Ask students to place upper body onto knee area with arms overhead. Driver and students should get below window level. Give students all clear signal when safe to do so. Contact dispatch when the possibility of immediate danger has subsided. Continue your route with caution. Now let's remember our drivers from our story and see if they had an issue with the weather. While the weather wasn't bad today, yesterday's storms caused problems for Tom. The condition of the roads can range from construction to icy roads. If the icy road conditions continue to deteriorate, you will be notified. You are to pre-trip and proceed immediately to your high school. Once you complete your high school route, go to your middle school, then proceeding with your elementary. If you do not have a high school, go directly to your middle school. Pay attention to your radio for any updates. If there is an announcement made to shelter in place, proceed to the nearest Fulton County school facility or other emergency shelters. Make sure to radio dispatch and let them know where you are and how many students you have with you. You must take your radio with you. Now let's think back to the story. Did any of the drivers have issues with road conditions? The bridge that had been a problem for Harry is finally fixed. Other motorists will always cause stress because you can't control what other people do. People honked at Tom and tried to pass him on the right when he was trying to turn into the school. A nice motorist let Harry merge onto the busy interstate. Parents can add more pressure to you, which will add stress to your day. Tom had to deal with the parent who was unhappy about the student behavior on the bus. Adults or parents at the bus stop with concerns or complaints should be referred to a supervisor. Drivers should alert the supervisor of the existing situation as soon as possible. Should any person display aggressive behavior at the bus stop, notify dispatch immediately. No person should be allowed to board a bus who does so to verbally or physically confront drivers or students. Any unauthorized person attempting to board a bus in a confrontational manner should be asked not to board the bus. If the person boards the bus, the driver should immediately contact dispatch for assistance. Police will be called. Management and other driver relations could add additional stress. Harry is going to participate in the upcoming drivers' meeting. Students, maintenance issues, personal stress, weather conditions, road hazards, and negligent drivers are common stresses for school bus drivers. There are many other stresses and scenarios that aren't on this list. The important thing is that you recognize the stress and try to calm yourself. How can you tell if someone is under too much stress? Everyone reacts differently when it comes to stress. One person could feel tired, sick, or run down, while others could have headaches. There are adults who also abuse alcohol and other drugs if the stress gets to them. Smokers might smoke more than normal. Some might have poor control of their emotions. It might not take a lot for this person to get angry or have severe sadness or irritability. Some might feel confused, depressed, or tense. Some might sleep or eat less, feel negative, and can't concentrate. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says that 92% of all crashes are caused by driver performance. Poor performance for school bus drivers is related to poor vehicle operation, and poor operation is usually a result of a driver's bad attitude. 2% of crashes are caused by knowledge deficit and 6% by equipment deficit. How are you going to handle everyday stress? What strategies can you use to help yourself with stress? Make sure you get enough rest. It will help keep you alert physically and mentally. Try to shut out personal stress while at work. You should seek help if you need it. Show up at work early to allow for a thorough pre-trip inspection and to catch up on important news. Greet everyone with a smile and by name. They will likely return the greeting. With a simple smile, it can make someone stay a little bit better. Be patient, even-tempered, and understanding. Show respect if you wish to receive it. Bring a sense of humor to the job. Be able to laugh at yourself. Learn to relax. When you're not driving, close your eyes, breathe evenly, think about the tension draining from your body. Be free from the effects of alcohol, illegal drugs, and medications. This includes prescription and over-the-counter. Extend a helping hand to new drivers. Remember, you were new at some point. Watch for stressful symptoms and request help when needed. Be an active team member. Ask questions if you are unsure about something. Believe in your ability to do a good job. Keep yourself positive. In addition to doing a pre-trip vehicle inspection, it is a good idea to do a personal pre-trip inspection as well. Ask yourself, did you leave your personal problems at home? Are you alert both mentally and physically? Are you ready to greet your students with a smile and an even temperament? If you happen to be late, have you taken a few minutes to take some deep breaths to calm your nerves down? At the end of the day, it's your job to safely transport students from one place to another. You take on a lot of responsibility. It can be stressful and hard to handle at times. There are different ways that you can reduce your stress that you feel each day.